Over the 2 years on YouTube, I read a lot of comments from fellow minimalists, and also during my journey of these 4 years of minimalism, I myself had my highs and lows that I would like to share with you right now to show you that it's okay to make mistakes sometimes. Before we start, I would like to recommend you the Eco-Friendly channel. She makes videos about minimalism lifestyle, and actually she is transferring from extreme minimalism to reasonable minimalism. Especially I like her content about how to make your wardrobe perfect for you and how to organize it the most efficient way. Link to her channel will be in the description. This came a little bit late in my journey, and I still am switching this mindset towards something else. As for right now, I still sometimes feel that I shouldn't buy something. For example, I'm in the store, I'm looking at something that I really feel like I need or want or enjoy, and I want to buy it, but something's stopping me. I'm not sure that this is an intentional purchase. How about a thumbs up for this exceptional active? Or I'm not sure that I will need it in a year, for example. And you know what? It's okay to sometimes doubt that, and it's okay to buy things even with those doubts, because it's not very productive to think that every single thing we buy we will need in several years, because we as people, we change, and our homes and our needs change with us. And it's okay if we buy something and use it like for a while and then declutter it, because this is the part of the journey, let alone the fact that I learn how to make more and more intentional purchases and only buy things that I truly need. And if I don't, that's okay. Also, with the journey of minimalism, I learned how to let go of things more easily if they don't bring value to my life anymore, or if their purchase was actually a mistake, because we are human beings, we tend to make mistakes. This is a normal process and no guilt anymore. Taking minimalism too seriously. I don't know if many of you can relate, but I just sometimes watch videos of other bloggers and myself. It's like we're transferring this idea that this all is too serious. Like, there are certain rules, there are things that you have to declutter, there is a lifestyle that you need to maintain. On one hand, of course, everybody understands that it's not like obligatory, you should always look at your life and do what's best for you. On other hand, I would just like to offer you the idea of gamification of this whole process, not to make it too serious for your life, because we are not passing a report to our boss unless we do. We just try to make our lives better. And if we refer to minimalism as a game, we tend to perceive our problems or our failures as just challenges that we need to pass to go to another level, you know? If we fail, we just failed one level and we can start over because we saved our game. And the victory in this game is enjoying the process itself and the result that it gives. I believe that with such attitude, that our life and minimalism journey in particular is a game, we tend to have more motivation. At least this helps me enjoy the process a lot more, and to, go through the challenges with a little bit of excitement and enjoyment every time. And even if I fail, it's never a big deal, because it's just a game. Not changing the buying habits can be quite a big obstacle in your journey. While we are decluttering and keeping this mindset of a minimal person, it's also important to pay attention to our buying habits that we are currently having, because it's quite easy to go back into the hoarder mode and keep things coming and coming into our lives if we don't pay attention to what our buying habits are and change it. Are you an impulse buyer? Or maybe you've got categories that you tend to overspend in, or maybe your spending depends on your mood. First, most important step in my opinion is to acknowledge this. As for me, I'm definitely a food buyer. I tend to overspend in this area and buy some, cashews and avocados and expensive fruit that I definitely cannot afford. And this is the area that I know I have to work on myself. I have to either replace it or control it. Whatever it is, if you feel like this is stopping you from some lifestyle that you want to have, start tracking what your habits right now are and start changing them. I was telling more about the importance of the purpose in my beginner's guide to minimalism. I also have the printable beginner's guide at my Patreon page by the link in the description. It's important to mention it even here in this video because it's great to enjoy the process itself, but you know what's even more awesome is to enjoy the results that you see after you adopted minimalist lifestyle. I myself at times was not sure where I was going, what I wanted to achieve in the end, but along the way I started to realize my ultimate goals to have this lifestyle that I wanted. My goals are definitely connected with a cleaning thing because I want to spend as little time as possible cleaning my apartment. And also I attached my minimalism to my financial goals with real numbers that I wanted to save up or whatever. It helped me a lot to have motivation to declutter more, to clean my space a lot less time, and it helped me to have the motivation to change my buying habits in order to reach my financial goals. So purpose gives you a lot more motivation. It helps you see the difference and it shows you the way how you can reach them. I talked about this problem in my recent vlog. This is something that I have to constantly work on because I keep saving things in my home after decluttering them, and I know it's not very good because if my clutter stays a long time after decluttering in my home, I tend to just ignore it and it continues cluttering my space and nothing basically changes. You know what else can happen is that you start picking up those stuff from their spot and start putting them back to your places where you store things at home, and it can become your clutter again. Like, who wants that? Letting my declutter things stay at my home for long periods of time is a big no-no for me. Focusing on what to get rid of than what you want to keep. At some point, I realized that I was so focused on decluttering stuff and getting rid of them that I forgot how to enjoy what I actually have. Everything that came to my hands had to be revised to be a victim for my next decluttering session. This is why I like decluttering in periods. And right now you don't see any decluttering videos from me because I am on the pause. And in some time I will have a decluttering session where I go around the house and decide what I don't need anymore or don't want anymore. It may not work for everybody, but it does work for me because I do have to have sometimes these pauses to go back into enjoying my stuff and focusing on what I'm keeping in my home than on what to get rid of. What I know for sure is that sometimes we are too focused on the minimalism journey that we stop enjoying the stuff we have. Either it's the hobby that we tend to accumulate or 105th t-shirt that we have. Maybe it's time to start looking around, seeing what you have, and actually thanking for it. The next mistake is worrying too much about that "what if I need this" feeling. If I try to remember things that I regret decluttering, it will probably be 0. 99% of the things that I declutter, I don't even remember having them after all. That 1% that I realize that I need, it's just so small percentage, and these things are so easy to buy again that it's not even worth worrying about whether or not you should keep it because you might need this in the future. Recently, my fridge kind of fixed itself, not sure. It started to finally freeze things, although before I couldn't even keep my cherries inside of it without them getting rotten. I realized how much I love ice. But I had to buy another ice mold that I decluttered in the period when my fridge wasn't working and we couldn't afford to fix it. This mistake cost me $1. But if I followed every single feeling that I might need this thing in the future, so I probably should keep it, it would cost me a lot more. It would cost me just the clutter space, it will cost me a lot of time for cleaning, irritated mood, and much more. I shared these mistakes to reflect on my journey, also maybe to give you some ideas of what not to do in your minimalism journey, and to show you that it's okay to fail, kind of fail. Anyway, this is a challenge challenge, this is a game that we just go through, and it's fine to sometimes do what we didn't want to. Thank you very much for watching. I recommend you to watch my other video, which is about minimalism rules that I break. And also go and check my Patreon page and join the community if you want to. Have a good day. Goodbye.